starts with the planning. So I started my planning almost a month back. And then the first thing in the planning is basically the destinations what you would like to cover as part of the itinerary. So I had 2 weeks of vacation plan. The idea was to cover Australia for a month. Sorry, no, for a week, and then New Zealand for another week. Since I had only 2 weeks to cover both the countries, and as you know, Australia is a continent, and it's very difficult. It's a pretty big country. We will not be able to cover almost all the places. So what I did was that I chose only the east coast part of it, covering Sydney. So from Bangalore to Sydney, Sydney to Cairns, where the Great Barrier Reef is there. From Great Barrier Reef, Cairns, I moved to Melbourne. I spent 2 days in Melbourne. From Melbourne, I flew down to Auckland. From Auckland, 2 days, 1 day in Auckland. One day I covered Rotorua because Rotorua has the geothermal and all those things, which is basically the natural wonders. From Auckland, I flew down to Queenstown, which is the southern part of. So the New Zealand is covered as two islands. One is the northern island and the southern island. The southern island, I went to the extreme south of New Zealand, which is Queenstown. From there, I took a rental car. From Queenstown, I drove down to Christchurch. From Christchurch, I came back to Bangalore. That was my itinerary. So that covers me the entire 2 weeks.
It will be also great that you create a sheet like this. So what I did was that for step by steps, for every day, what is the plan, which flight you have to take, which hotel you are staying, what are the activities to be done on every day. So that entire planning was done for the 2 weeks, so that there is no confusion in terms of booking the flights and all. So this is how I've laid out the flights, the hotel, the tour package I need to plan. So based on that, I can do all the bookings at one shot.
Now comes the visa process. You need to access Australian immigration site and New Zealand immigration site, which I'll provide in the description for easy reference. Create an account with basic details. Please note that you need to apply for Visitor Visa Subclass 600 for Australia, which is basically for tourism. And the cost is around 195 Australian dollars. And for New Zealand, they recently increased the price to 341 New Zealand dollars. It took me 3 weeks to get the visa stamped. Not visa stamped, basically to get the visa approved. I did the application for both the countries at the same time and got the visa almost at the same time. It took me 3 weeks. Following documents were needed for most of the documents were common for both the countries. The first is the travel document, which is basically your passport copy, first and last pages and all. And then the national identity document, which is basically your Aadhaar card. Evidence of financial status and funding. For this, you can provide your income tax statement and the pay slip. If you have stocks or mutual funds, you can attach those statements. You can download it from your mutual fund statements, or as NSDL website, you can download those stocks and mutual fund statements, and also the bank statements for the last 6 months. And then they ask for the evidence of the applicant's previous travel, which basically you can upload your entry and exit stamped pages of passport. And the next question probably is like a travel itinerary, which I showed earlier. You can create a small document with your day by day itinerary, like which states or which cities you are planning to cover for each of those countries, and where you are planning to stay. Some kind of a high level itinerary that's not very important, but you don't. The best part is that it is not like applying for a Schengen visa. You don't need to upload a flight booking or a hotel booking that needs to be provided or uploaded. So you can just provide a single document with your day by day itinerary. That should suffice for this particular piece of it. Now comes our flight booking. So I would recommend that you do a search in search engine like flight.google.com or Skyscanner. So you can do a multi-city search, not the round trip. because you're traveling from Bangalore to Sydney and coming back from a different city. So you can have to do a multi-city search. Once you do the search, you can get an idea of what is the prices. Generally, I would recommend that you book the flight on a Monday morning or a Tuesday morning, and then come back not on a Saturday, on Sunday, either on a Thursday or a Friday, so that the prices are little better. That's all. But yeah, you can try it out. And once you get the pricing, you can just go to the original airline website to do the booking. I would not recommend booking through a provider or a consolidator. I generally book through the airline, but it's up to you. Just a suggestion. Now, once you book the flight, you might need to book a seat, right? So there is a site called seatguru.com wherein you can enter the flight number and click on the view map, and then you can go through the different seats available in the aircraft. Based on the aircraft, it could be A350 or a Boeing. So it will define which seats are better, whether one seat is having missing a window, or it is near a toilet, which could be a problem. There is a limited recline. So all those details you can get it from Seat Guru for selecting the right seat for you actually. Now, even after booking the before booking the site, I would recommend going through another website called flightradar24.com. What it does is that once you search for that flight number, here in the case of Bangalore and Sydney, it was QF Qantas 68. So you search that particular number in flights radar24.com. It will track you. If there is a live flight happening, you can completely track where it has reached. It's similar to an Uber driving. You can completely track your flight where it has reached. The other way is like once you go to it, you can get the flight history of QF68. As you can see, you like for each of those dates, everyday flight 27, 26 of December, 25th of December, what time it have landed, what is the actual timing, and when it had landed. So that will help you out to plan your travel booking properly. And for hotels, I use booking.com or basically agoda.com, which gives a decent rates compared to the other sites. You may choose other websites, but this is the two websites I've been using for many years, and it has been quite reliable for me. Now, in terms of booking an activity or a day trip, I would recommend using getyourguide.com or klook.com. So what you can do is like go to those websites, search in your city where you want to visit. Let's say Sydney for that particular date. It will list all the day trips available for you or the attractions. For example, for Sydney Opera House, there is a 1 hour tour. I could book it before I land itself, for a specific timing, so that once we get that online booking, you will get a QR code which you can add it to your Apple Wallet or wherever you want it. You don't need a paper ticket. You just bring that phone to the nearby attractions where the Klook person will be standing there. You can just scan it and just walk in for the attractions. Similarly, if it's a day trip, what they do is like you can specify which hotel you are staying. They will come and pick you up in the morning and then drop you back. Generally, they will drop you back in the hotel. There are some cases wherein there was a Blue Mountain trip from Sydney. They didn't drop to the hotel, but instead they will drop you near the city itself, city harbor, and then you can take a local Uber or taxi to go back to your hotel. So that's how it works out. The next thing what you would like to have is like a phone connectivity the moment you land in the new country, because you might have want to book a Uber and all, right? And you don't want to pay for international roaming, and that's where this eSIM concept called Airalo works out. You even before you start the travel, you can go to the Airalo website, search for the country you are traveling. Generally for Australia and New Zealand, the coverage, there is a regional eSIM called Oceania, which covers 8 more countries like Fiji and others. You can download that eSIM after paying, I think it's around $5 for 2 GB or so. I don't recollect that, but it's a very useful tool. The moment, so basically, iPhone has eSIM, two eSIMs, right? So you have to disable one eSIM, basically your local one, and then enable this eSIM even before you're traveling. So basically your say I have an Airtel works as one eSIM, and AirAllo works as the second eSIM.
Hope this was a useful video for you all. I'll cover the places to visit and other detailed information in the next video. Thank you all. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel AB Diaries.